I just put the scissors in and knock them down. And this way you're able to cut a circular hole out of a can with a pair of scissors, normal scissors. As you see, we're getting near the end. And yeah, that's the finished piece. Just like this. Ta-da! And to punch the hole you could use the scissors or just a hole punch. And now we go to the next step. Just take the scissors again and go around the edge like this, pressing inwards. This way I'm pushing the sharp edges away. See, they are now pointing inwards and it's less likely for you to cut yourself. Using the same technique I made this construction here. This is the bottom of our stove. That's where the air gets in. Then we have a can with holes punched in the floor. That's the burn chamber, and this up here will be the chimney with holes around the sides. Here I'm making the chimney. I took this piece of wood, and this will later be the lid for the burn chamber. But it helps me to punch holes and not deform it. So, air intake, chimney, and this will be the burn chamber. I'm going around the edge and you will see how it turns out. And there we go. Now it is finished. I'm using it now with a tea light candle, but it is also suitable for the use with some alcohol or with some sticks, just wood. The intake down here is regulatable by just pressing it in or leaving it out, and yeah, bubbling a little. Yeah, and the good thing is this part here doesn't get hot, so you can always touch it and move it. Yeah. And a little addition here, also I've made a lid to cover it. And now here are we in my bedroom. So I don't burn my house down. I mean, that's made for outside. And yeah, we got now the material in place. Now let's add some alcohol. Just a little bit. Put the chimney in place. Make sure it didn't drop down. And now let's light it. As you see, yeah, you can see it. It burns very well. And yeah, you can put every kind of pot on it. I've used the identical one here. And as you see, it is still burning. And you hear some child outside the window. But you see, it makes a lot of dust. I have to increase the airflow a bit. But now let me take down here light a bit so you can see the fire inside. See? Yeah, it's stinking quite a lot, so I make my window up again. Yeah, you see, it is burning very well. But it makes a lot of smoke. Yeah, it's not for inside. I'm recommending to run it directly with alcohol. And as a burn chamber, I'm using this little brass end cap here. So, now let's light it. You see? It's hard to see, but it is burning. Let me take the exposure down. Very hard to see, but yeah. It is burning now, but you can't see it. And yeah, completely smokeless. So the real recommended purpose for this thing is to burn alcohol. And yeah, this water will soon boil, and well, you could always put a bigger pot on it, but then you probably have to refill it once or twice. Yeah, hope you have enjoyed the video. Let me know your comments, and yeah, still no fire department here for now. So, I see you later, adventurers. So, adventurers, this is now the talking part, where I explain some parts a bit closer I couldn't fit into the video. And first of all, yeah, the video is a bit rough cut. That's because I'm shooting it in 4K, and that's, yeah, very memory intensive, very editing intensive, not something for my old computer. So, first of all, this stove is variable, so it burns with alcohol, wood or a candle. One of the brass end caps is enough to bring ice cold water to the state of building bubbles, but not to a rolling boil. For rolling boil, I recommend you to use the aluminium housing of a burnt out tea light candle. That's perfect. And now, when using it with alcohol, a little word of cautions. Do not refill it as long as it is hot. If the brass is still hot, it could self-ignite and then explode. So that's something you definitely don't want. There was actually a guy killed some years ago by refilling an alcohol stove when it was still hot. Bottle exploded in his hand, 50-degree burns on all his body, so don't play around with this. Next thing. As you may have noted, the lowest part of the stove, the air intake, got a little hole in the bottom. This hole is to stick a nail to it and stick it to a board, or best case when you're outside, stick it into the ground so the stove can't tip over. It's another safety precaution. When you're running it with wood, I recommend to let it burn for a while till you put the pot on it. Also, a thing I didn't use here is a pot stand. That's a piece of flat metal you put as a cross on top of it. Then you don't need a second chimney and it will run just fine. Also, airflow is a thing. This one was adjusted to alcohol and therefore did smoke quite a lot. Yeah. Running it with alcohol, it is, like I said, variable. You can also use just the lowest part of the stove and put the can on top of this. This is working very well with alcohol. It is also a very stable flame, as it got the air intakes that make the air circulate around it. Yeah, I hope this was clear so far. And as always, cans like this are plastic or DPA coated, and you wanna run them outside for a while, so all the burnt and harmful stuff gets burned away. Yeah. Next thing is something about my channel. You know, my channel is very small, very new, so feel free to subscribe. And yeah, I have some better ideas for some stoves. This was just a idea I had in mind because, well, I eat, well, every 2 weeks a can of tuna, and so I have all those cans lying around, and I thought, too bad to throw them away. Let's make something out of them. And as you have seen, it works very well, especially if you just want to heat a small amount of water, small amount of something. And yeah, that's a spoonful of alcohol in here, and it manages to get normal temperatured water to rolling boil. So I think it is quite effective. And like I said, you don't need a chimney if you use the alcohol, so just use the lowest part and the upper part. You can of course use the complete setup, and yeah, it partially increases of course fuel efficiency as it is regulating the airflow. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time at the Adventurers Club. And as you see, the biggest mistake I have made here was to use a bunch of paper towels to demonstrate it inside. I should have used some sticks or something, because burning paper, especially paper towels, oh, they have a horrible smell and give a lot of nasty smoke. But the good news are, after one day the smoke was out and no fire department arrived here.